In July 2019, Bushiroad made a surprise announcement at their annual strategy conference, revealing the upcoming 2020 card game Rebirth For You. It was a matter of minutes before Japanese fans realized the game was a remake of their long-dead Victory Spark TCG. But Bushiroad went into little detail about the game itself, showing a brief trailer and introducing the actresses behind its short anime series, while promising that all would be revealed on September 18th at a ticketed event hosted at the Chiyoda Science Museum. Unfortunately, due to a little thing known as time zones, this presentation was streamed live at 3 in the morning Pacific, and I did in fact get up to watch it like an idiot. After nearly 2 hours, I have one very big question unanswered. Rebirth for who exactly? The presentation began with an introduction by Sasaki Mikoe and Tokui Sora, two actresses from Bushiroad's Tantei opera Milky Homes franchise. They opened the event by welcoming manga artist and series director Nishi Asuka to the stage, along with the same 4 central actresses we saw at the initial trailer, followed by the remaining 8 other main members. Narumi Runa, Saeki Iori, Koyama Momoyo, Tono Hikaru, Iwata Haruki, Otsuka Sae, Mimura Haruka, and Hazuki Himari. For the occasion, all of these women were dressed up in their characters' corresponding high school uniforms. I should point out that the youngest of these actresses is 23 years old and the oldest are 26. They are the very last cohort of millennials entering into this particular sector of the Japanese media biz. None of them have been in high school for at least 5 years. They have college degrees, acting degrees, some of them are classically trained singers, and they're expected to go out on stage and pretend they still need to raise their hand and get a hall pass to use the bathroom. So, with the class of 2014 seated and Principal Nishi presiding, their daily life of mutual killing began.
正しい黒を指摘できれば黒だけがお仕置き。だけどもし間違った人物を黒とした場合は黒以外の全員がお仕置きされ、みんなを欺いた黒だけが晴れて卒業となります。
First up on the itinerary was some discussion of the upcoming short anime series, and by short, I mean it's been greenlit for 50 episodes. So if short is referring to the length, well, they already can't fit card effects into 25 minutes with Vanguard, so I can't imagine how they're going to play anything short of Go Fish in 3. The plot of the series, which is also titled Rebirth but written in hiragana rather than in English, is to follow 4 teams made up of 3 girls each as they compete in the Rebirth National Championships. And the teams themselves are not yet named. Bushiroad is holding a contest over Twitter to decide the name of each team in waves, the first winner of which will be announced on October 1st at, you guessed it, 3 in the morning. Am I going to get up at 3 a.m. to discover live that Bodie McBoatface won? You bet I am. For the record, some of the select suggestions from Twitter include Re-Universe, Miracle Spark, Beer is Life, Rebirth, spelled like Dragonic Overlord The Rebirth, Re-Girls, Heroine Sisters, and Chaos, which was suggested by the producer of Bushiroad's recently dead Chaos TCG, who claims it stands for Kawaii Onanoko Ski Ski Daisuki, in English, like, love cute girls, which I'm pretty sure is based on the lyrics to the ending theme of Bang Dream Pico. Presumably, he slipped that suggestion through the bars of his cage in the basement of Bushiroad HQ, where he was sealed away by the Warriors of Light after they defeated Chaos. Now, speaking seriously for a moment about what the anime actually is, it should be noted that it's being produced by the Osaka branch of Leiden Films, which was responsible for the 2014 Cardfight Vanguard Neon Messiah movie. But in terms of what Rebirth actually represents for Bushiroad, with the super deformed character designs and the specific intellectual properties it's connected to that we'll be getting to in a moment, this anime probably replaces Bang Dream Pico, Mini Vanguard, and the much earlier Vice Survive shorts in their media lineup. We should not be expecting Neon Messiah level animations. That said, there is a market for TCG anime starring a female cast. The precedent is primarily found in serialized manga. There's an audience out there that hung on to every panel of Battle Supi, We Are the Battle Spirits Club, the K-On! Magic the Gathering Dojin, Wizard Soul, and TC Girls, and those are just the ones I can think of off the top of my head. Bushiroad themselves serializes Seido no Asuka, a Vanguard fan manga with a female protagonist that won a contest and proved so popular it became one of the primary reasons to subscribe to the magazine. Depending on what exactly they mean by short, this could be an oasis for a very thirsty audience. If it's at least 10 to 15 minutes, they can tell emotional slice-of-life stories with the cast that endear viewers to their characters and bond them over the course of 50 episodes. If it's 2 to 3 minutes, it's going to be a gag series like Minivan, and the only thing they'll have going for them is Nishi Asuka's name recognition. Chibi anime like Bang Dream Pico and Minivan succeeded by being supplemental products to something else telling a bigger story. Rebirth has to be the main product. Now, after a lot of protracted introductions by the actresses, they moved on to the next segment, a surprise dance number performing the opening theme song Rebirth Go. This was... is this how you revive a beloved card game? With idols? I mean, like, the audience gave up partway through, and even my Japanese mutuals were falling asleep, and it was only 7 p.m. there. Like, you gotta actually attach us to the characters before you start trying to play with our hearts in a musical number. Well, while the girls went backstage to collectively wonder if they should have taken that job at Family Mart, Sasaki and Tokui invited Bushiroad's senior game development staff on for the next segment, addressing the rules of the trading card game. I felt that this was actually the best part of the presentation, which could be interpreted as an insult now that I think about it. The speakers were Bushiroad Rebirth Development Supervisor Asano Keiichiro and Yuhodo President Nakamura Satoshi, who is also the designer of Vice Shores, Victory Spark, Cardfight Vanguard, and many other games. They gave us a full view of the game's playmat and an overview of some of its basic rules and concepts. Rebirth is designed to be played in about 10 to 15 minutes, with 1 to 3 minutes spent on each turn. Now, last time I explained the rules of Victory Spark, and it's a good thing I did because they are leaning very heavily on the idea that you already know the game. Unlike Victory Spark, the lose condition in Rebirth is 7 damage instead of 10, or I should say 7 cards retired. Yes, they're keeping the retire yard terminology from Victory Spark instead of changing it to something more intuitive, but they are renaming the ring character that both players battle with to being the entry character, and the benched characters to the members. And in addition to your entry and member characters, you also now have a third set of cards outside the rest of the board called partner cards. These cards have no stats and no text, and the presentation didn't actually go that much into what they did. But as I'll explain in a moment, they are inseparable from Rebirth's win condition. Bushiroad did finally admit that the game is a remake of Victory Spark when I was really expecting them to dance around the issue forever. Like in Victory Spark, if your entry character is moved to another zone or defeated, you place the top card of your deck into the entry area, and if the placed card has a spark effect, it will resolve. But in addition to that is a new card type called Rebirth Cards, which have horizontally aligned illustrations. When a Rebirth card is revealed, it resolves a spark effect and is then sent to the Rebirth area, and the next card of your deck is then put into the entry area instead. This is an opportunity to resolve more spark effects to gain an advantage, which makes Rebirth cards conceptually similar to drive triggers in Cardfight Vanguard, as they're a dedicated card type that exists solely to be revealed for effects. However, any restrictions on Rebirth cards weren't detailed, and this is my biggest issue with the presentation. They really didn't tell us a whole lot. If you didn't already have a grasp of Victory Spark, then the explanation they gave of the rules was basically incomprehensible because they didn't explain anything. Fortunately, a Japanese card shop leaked the playmat 2 days after the presentation, so I have the basic rules for you here now, even if Bushiroad doesn't.